Right, here we see a variety of pocket sticks. On the right you see one specifically made by self-protection companies by design, apart from the one at the bottom. The one at the bottom is just a short piece of doweling. But the next ones, the two black ones in the middle, they're both designed for pocket stick type training. The grey one as well, it's got a point on it and certain knurlings for grip, again is designed for the same thing. One at the top is simply a Sharky marker pen, but for a while they did them where you they would replicate and double very quickly as a pocket stick type of thing. The ones to the left are the ones I prefer. These are the massage sticks that we talked about that I bought in Thailand. They're perfect pocket sticks. They come in small, a medium and to a large one for larger hands. Really you don't need anything bigger than what you see here. These ones here are just perfect in terms of size. Got at least about 1.5 inches sticking out the bottom of your fist, which is what you need. You can use it as a fist load to keep your fist strong when you punch, and you can use it to strike with. We also can use it to manipulate with, as we'll see. Okay, pocket stick. First of all, carry access into deployment. Well, carrying it, put a stick in your pocket stick, simple. You can just put your hand in and pull it out. A pocket stick like this, as soon as you pull it out, can instantly be concealed as soon as I put it in my hand. So I can put my hand in my pocket, access the tool, and you won't see the tool. I can keep it just along the back side of my palm, just thumbed or with my fingers, in this kind of natural configuration where I could quickly bring it into place should I need it. I could access it this way and conceal it this way. If I just put my thumb in my pocket like so, and then maybe put my thumb this side so that it's symmetrical, it's perfectly natural. I could have my hand in my pocket with it in my hand. But we should be aware for hands in pockets, so therefore assume that other people are. And if you can see my hand, you just can't see the stick, it's ready to go. In terms of deployment, well, the best deployment comes from preemptive access, so it's already in my hand. So like I explained, if I'm somewhere unfamiliar, I'll access something in my hand just to heighten my awareness. And now, that's good enough reason to carry it if nothing else happens, and hopefully nothing else happens. But once it's in my hand now, you can't see it, it's here. If I put my hands together like this, or even if I work in this kind of, talking type of fence, you're unlikely to see this, particularly if I use deception and misdirection as I would. In terms of deployment, the way it's going to be employed is, I'm going to strike with it. I prefer impact. The lines that I'm going to use to strike with it are going to be very, very simple. I'm either coming overhand, I'm coming backhand, or I'm coming straight down. In some cases, the fastest stroke we have comes from the pocket straight out into the face. So it literally comes up and out in a straight line. This would be the thrust, if you like. So if you think about basic angles with a knife, so you have angle 1, angle 2, you have angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, and angle 6. In combatives terms, they keep it small. I prefer anything coming over, anything going back, anything coming out. So it's just A, B, C. In terms of lines we're going to employ, I'm going to use a Pical grip only, hammer grip. I'm not interested in this held in any forefront way. It's kind of goofy. I want it this way. It's easily concealed, and it's easy to employ very caveman style using the hammer fist. The hammer fist strike, which comes down, back, straight down, in cycles, is a very gross motor tool. It's just like picking up a rock and throwing it, picking up a stick and hitting with it, picking up a pocket stick and hitting with it. It's the same. So we're going to focus on this angle 1, this angle 2. Maybe this angle 5 coming straight out, and certainly this angle 6, particularly with a cycle in motion. So very simple movements is what you're going to use with your dominant hand, dominant side. You're going to, if you notice that there's a potential problem and you can access this discreetly, then do it. If you have forethought to walk because you're in an unfamiliar place or instinct triggers it, and it's already in your hand, then do it. It's only any use to you if it's in your dominant hand when you need it, with the intent to use it. Other than that, something happens here all of a sudden and you'll forget you got it. So training for your in-fight weapon access under duress is less productive than preemptive access, although you should do both. In terms of how you're going to strike, like I said, you're striking and retracting, so you're striking impact. So I'm looking at large muscle groups such as the chest area, just want to fire it in, into the shoulder, into the subclavicle, just behind the collarbone. Important that you cap it each time, because otherwise it will slip. So capping it and just striking into here, or into here, will all have good effect. You know, this is a relatively low level of force. I don't subscribe to waiting for him to do something where he grabs me and then I apply point pressure. If he was to grab me before this, I just wail on him the same way as I would. You know, whether I'm preemptive and wail on him, or whether he grabs me and I wail on him, it's the same. In terms of striking from to your target line, soft tissue target, such as the sides of the neck, it's going to have a penetrative effect. It's unlikely you're going to stick with this small rounded configuration to go in. It's much more likely just to stun the muscle. And it's really painful. In terms of me hitting him in the skull, however, it will split skin. It'll split skin against bone. The forehead bleeds profusely, looks a lot worse than it is. Pretty much a superficial injury. But there is also the chance, if you hit repeatedly and hard enough, that you will make holes in the skull, or you will make dents in the head. So primarily I would target the face and the neck, rather than looking at putting holes in the top of his head. But you know, but shit happens. You're talking, this is an option for a low level of force, in which case stick to large muscle groups. If it gets out of hand and you have to branch to the face, well then you have to branch. So there's level and room and scope for you to escalate should you need to. In terms of throwing an overhanded strike just from your pocket, just from here, boom, you want a nice tight line. I don't want to come right out, to come right in. I want to use it the same way I'd use a knife. And the way I would use a knife is in with tight linear lines. Very tight, so an angle 1, an angle 2, and a stab, all at the fucking same. Same with this. I want to just bring this around, or bring this straight down, or bring this straight out. In terms of bringing it around, I'm just going to target his jawline and the side of his neck, just from here. And then I'd index to follow up. It's a backhanded line, it will come this way. Just come in this way. I might flank as I do that. I might flank, pop this in and then run. Or I might flank, pop this in, articulate, and then work off that. So I'm coming around or back, or straight down. It's your first drill. Coming around, coming back, straight down. Now I want you to look at, just from the pocket, coming straight out into the high line. Good job. Just clip the eye, clip the neck. The main drills that I want you to concentrate on, just an angle 1 from here, and an angle 2. And then angle 1, angle 2, and down from there, inward cycle. Coming straight out into the face, and you're going low, then high. And flanking and striking, then putting this behind the back, or the nape of the neck to manipulate, and carry on from there as we'll see. But just basic lines to start. Angle 1, angle 2, straight down angle 6, straight out angle 5. Let's give that a go. Going to work it on a pad. You want an old beat up pad. This is an old sort of tie-like pad. It's had its life really. It's old and beat up. You could add another layer to it or tape it up, but I'm not fussed about it getting some perforations in it or some dents in it. From here, if we work the same way as we worked on a bob, just being careful to hold the pad solid with 2 hands. Keep clear, make sure it's thick enough that if the end does penetrate, it's not going anywhere near your partner. Literally from this position, working on that downward line first, just from here, straight down and in, straight down and in, and from there, cycle, 1, 2, 3, We're looking at that angle, just cant the pad slightly from your pocket. Put it in. Same again, if I was going backhanded. Working from a position of preparation of concealment, or just hands available. Shoot from here, just back. From here, back. Back, index, follow, follow up. Spear stick is in my hand, it's concealed. I could use a proactive spike cover coming straight in, just cross fending, or I could use it as a reaction to somebody throwing a shot, or somebody grabbing me, just loosen cover, drop my chin and present point and edges. I'm using this kind of cross-like structure because it chambers this shot which I can rake into the face before I throw this hand to articulate, and then I'm into cycling. To keep it simple, I could just cross bend, grab something, and then cycle this way. So the two variations are, I'll just crush in and hit the half beat, 1, 2, and cycle into the head, or simply crash, attach, cycle into the head. So that you come here, bend, here, and then follow up. Just to close up this module on the pocket stick, I just want to show you one thing that you can use offensively or counter-offensively. So using it from the cover. All depends, of course, on the access, if I've got preemptive access. If somebody is quite close to me in this kind of range, maybe you're in an elevator or something like that, a good strategy is to just crash into them or just blast into them with your elbow. So regardless of whether I've got the stick or not, just for me driving into him with these points and edges, he's going to give me a good start for 10. It'll get him reeling back, it'll get him disrupted in the breathing, and then I can start working highlight. But you can also do the same thing if you've got a stick ready. So the way I'd employ it from here, just in the most gross motor way, is just cross my arms, just cross guard and bring my hands up like this. From here now I can just reach for the subject and then start the cycling with the hammer fist. If I wanted to add a little nuance to it, or an incidental shot, I'd blast in this way, hit off this line first and then attach, and then cycle. So one way is slightly more complicated, and like anything in combatives, if you practice that, you can't get it in 5 minutes, then drop it. Go back to the simple, just trombone crash in, reach for him and just caveman. But how it looks is, if you use a pad like this, turtle back feet, so he's putting it over his shoulders and clavicle and turning. It allows me to feel what it feels like to crash in. And from crashing in here, I'll hit on the half beat, this in here, and then cycle this way. So the way it looks here is I'm just going to crash in. Most basic way is just grab, then hammer. Or add the nuance, which is crash in from here, hit on the half beat, grab, and then hit. So we're crashing in, beat and hit, 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 hit. So in application, as soon as I do this, he's reeling and covering up, ready now. So his hands are coming up. I'm just going to pull this back on a half beat. May or may not hit anything. May hit his arms, clear his line. Hit index now, and then go to work up here.